going to be looking more like $5 tree here in a minute.
That doesn't have the same ring to it.
It doesn't, but I mean, didn't McDonald's like get rid of most of their dollar menu? You can't even get shit for $1 anymore. So,
Mm.
is there anything in Dollar Tree that's really $1?
Oh man, I don't know. Bottle of water.
Yeah, shit, I don't remember the last time I was in Dollar Tree. Shit, bottle of water is like $2 at 7-Eleven. Like, how the hell's Dollar Tree selling it for $1? Like, what kind of water is that? Yeah, they fucking got rainwater coming off the back of the building.
Yeah, that's funny.
Putting it through one of your fucking like, what are those, like Brita or something? Those little
Mhm.
Brita
Filters.
they're probably fucking filtering tap water off a Brita filter. That's
Oh
what you get.
dear.
It's probably no different than most bottled water you get today, anyways.
Yeah, it's true.
Um,
It's true.
yeah, I don't know. Last time I was even in a dollar store. It's a big deal where I grew up. We went to like Big Lots. Big Lots was the shit back then.
Hmm.
You probably never even been in a Big Lots.
I've never.
You probably never even been in a dollar store, have you?
I have actually. That one I have. Yeah, we bought
Yeah,
baking. What's it? Baking paper, whatever that stuff is.
parchment paper.
For $1. Yeah, parchment paper.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you cheap motherfucker. Like, Jesus Christ.
I was in the sourdough phase.
You couldn't get it with your Whole Foods order that you have delivered to your house. Living the yuppie life.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got my Whole Foods delivery. I mean, fuck it, I do it too, right? But
Yeah.
it's that trick once you learn to put the sourdough on the wax paper and then you can just drop it in. It's like makes life so easy.
Oh no, duh. But yeah, big contradiction there. You get the organic flour and shit, but you put it on the Dollar Tree parchment paper. It's probably like got as much chemical as anything.
Hey man, that's how we do it sometimes. You call it a high low or a low high, however you want to. You're doing something like the kind of the right way or the high end, and you introduce something low end. Like there's one night I drank a $50 bottle of wine while I was eating White Castle.
Yeah.
Like, what might make some people feel appalled, but I had a great fucking meal. So that's a high low or a low high, however you want to look at it. You got like something high, and then you have to have something low.
Yeah.
It's like fashion. People will they'll have like an $800 sweater on and like a $3,000 bag and like a pair of $30 Old Navy jeans.
Yeah.
That's actually a fashion thing. I don't know what they call it, but I like doing that with food though. It's like I like mixing two different things from two different levels.
Mhm.
But I'm glad you got the organic flour and the Dollar Tree parchment paper.
Thanks.
Shit, how low did you go? Did you use like the Morton salt? You didn't use like the fine salt? No wonder your sourdough didn't come out right.
Yeah. Yeah.
Anyway.
Hodgepodge of just terribleness.
Anyways, man, imagine like having your whole business built around this concept of like dollar store shit, and inflation goes through the roof.
Oh my god, yeah.
You know what? What about like the Little Caesars $5 pizza?
Do they still exist?
Yeah, that's just got to be like $8 now, right?
Not the same ring to it again.
Ain't the same ring. It's one of those things that I think if you could figure out a way to own your entire supply chain where you could control the prices to an extent, you could keep prices down. Not likely the option for Dollar Tree, right? It's
yeah.
They're sourcing these products and it's all other CPG goods and whatnot. But you know, I have this issue where I don't know, maybe they talk about this in business school. I don't see many people talk about it, but let's use sandwiches for example. Like Subway, the $5 foot long, okay? They start increasing the price. It's 6, it's 7, it's 8. And even though everything else has gone up in price, there's this mental block of, do I want to spend $9 on Subway? Or even $10 on Subway?
Mm-hmm.
And then you look at something else and it's like, well, if Subway's going to cost me $9, but I can get like Jersey Mike's for $14, and I'm just making prices up here. will I just spend the extra money to get to Jersey Mike's because it's even though everything shifted up, like everything's kind of went up proportionally in price. Just that mental block of saying I got to spend $9, $10 on Subway, like F it, I'm just going to spend a couple more dollars, even though it's probably getting to Jersey Mike's is twice as much as you used to pay for the original Subway.
Right.
It just gets to the point where you can't believe you're spending this much money for the lowest level product, such as would you spend $10 on Little Caesars pizza, or would you spend $16 on a Jets? And I'm curious to see how that goes. Now, there's the people that just can't afford it, right? So they're always going to buy the cheapest shit. But that's not the whole market. And I just think there is a breaking point where it's like, I'm just going to spend $3 more and get something a little better.
Yeah.
Because to pay this much for the absolute rock bottom doesn't feel right. Or I now, does the whole value play change? Even though economically nothing's changed, right? If your salary went up, all prices go up with inflation. Everything's kind of on the same level as it was 2 years ago. But just looking at that number makes you rethink, do I want to buy this?
Right.
And I do think it's like, why all prices are like $4.99 instead of $5. There is a kind of a tipping point, and I think that certainly affects the lower end products way more than the high end products.
Oh yeah. We talked about it in an episode where we talked about luxury. Same kind of thing, right? Where you end up having brands position themselves in those gaps because there is that threshold.
Yeah, but that's man, it's probably a shitty time to be in the dollar business. I mean, think about it. What's I don't even know. Like, what could you get a roll of toilet paper for $1?
One roll, yeah, I think so.
Can?
I think so.
I don't know. This shit's going on shortage right now. Like,
yeah,
it's the stuff. It's going back to the gold standard. Like, it's just
gold standard. Yeah.
But what can you get for $1? Like, it's going to be $3 to $5, $10. Like, I don't know, man. It's got to be a rough business to be in at this point. At the end of the day, let's just call it what it is. It's the cheapest place to buy shit. It's the Big Lots concept where I grew up. You were just going to lower income people or people that have fancy Whole Foods food that need parchment paper, go to Dollar Tree, right?
Yeah.
It doesn't matter if it's $1 or $2 or $3. It's just, if that's where you can get the cheapest shit, that's what the store. It should just be called cheap shit store. And then it could be like anything, right? It doesn't got to be $1. It's just, we know that going here, I can buy stuff significantly cheaper than going to CVS or Walgreens or Kroger or Meijer or Costco, right? I can get in and out fast. I can buy things cheap. So,
yeah, I think, James, that this brings up something that you've mentioned before, which is like inflation, like whether or not we think it's real or not, like it affects the people that can't afford inflation the most. And I think that, we think about demographics here, we think about who shops at a Dollar Tree other than parchment paper. Like that bump from $1 to $1.50, like can really have an effect on somebody who maybe doesn't have the financial means to absorb that kind of inflation. So it just goes back to your point, which is, you can look everywhere there's inflation, but it's going to really affect the people that maybe can't afford to do it or can't afford to absorb it.
I mean, it always affects the bottom 50% of income earners more. Prices go up, you and I, it irritates us. But when our dinner goes up $9, we bitch about it, but it doesn't change our day. When someone else, when you go to McDonald's now and you're trying to feed a family of 4 and it's like $32 and you're in the lower 50% of income, that hurts. And that's the one thing about inflation is, again, if you own shit and inflation goes up on your assets, cool. But if you need about 50% of net income or wealth, you don't have assets, you didn't benefit from the inflation, and then those inflationary prices end up hurting you in your everyday goods, because we know as much as we don't see it coming on the news, food is way up, gas is way up. I mean, everything is way the fuck up.
Yeah.
But it hurts that it hurts the working class more than anybody.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. Yeah, you kind of look around and you kind of see the prices rising, and I don't know why it doesn't get as much coverage as it maybe should. Because we've been talking about it for a long time where we saw grocery prices up 30-40% when people were saying that inflation was only up a couple percentage points. So we'll see.
Yeah, I just I don't like want to get into political stuff. I do think it's partly politics is driving what makes it into the news these days.
Yeah, it's true.
And I don't think no one really at least in the big news media, they don't really want to talk about what's going on right now. For a whole varying group of reasons, but we know it because we see it in our grocery bills. We know it because we see it at the gas station. We see it in everything we do now, where everything just costs quite a bit more. And I think that's why you and I are talking about it, because you don't see it on the news as much.
Mm-hmm.
You see a little bit of it here on Wall Street Journal, but you go talk to that family of four that's making like 35 grand a year and ask them how that grocery bill's been.
Yeah.
Well, they feel it. They don't need the news article. They don't need the Fed to come out with their inflation report saying inflation's at 5.1%, and you go ask the working class family if they think their bills only went up 5%. Go talk to them about rent right now, because rent's going way the hell up.
Mm-hmm.
And you go look at food and gas and all these other living expenses. It's the things we measure in the inflation report have only went up like 5%. And what about everything else?
Yep.
Good luck buying a house right now.
Yeah.
I mean, interesting times ahead. We pump too much money into the system, and then we don't have people working. What else could you add to this disaster, right?
Yeah.
And then I don't know where things get better from here. So right now, freight cost, gas goes up, freight cost goes up. Like there's so many things. It really is a domino effect at the end of the day. This might be the peak. This might just be the start of it. I don't know.
As long as the parchment paper doesn't go up too much.
I mean, you have to get it for $2. You probably spent like $20 on one bag of organic flour, and then it's like, oh shit. Now I got to buy parchment paper. I mean, baking sourdough is expensive.
Yeah.
I don't know. I ain't got much else for this one other than might see a name change here in the future.
Yeah. Okay.
I think cheap shit store would be like all encompassing. You could sell anything in there for like any price, as long as it was like the cheapest price.
Yeah.
I don't know. Don't listen to me. All right.
Sounds
I got you.